perfect embodiment of the never give up spirit of this great American city of New Orleans, as the Saints now get set to host the rival, the Atlanta Falcons. And the Saints will be receiving the opening kick. Matt Bosher will be sending it down to Marcus Murphy. The Saints won the toss and they want the football. We don't see that all the time these days. Most times now, everybody defers.
Get the extra possession. They believe in their offense. That's the strength of their football team. That's why they take the opening kickoff, Jim.
Murphy has already returned a punt this year for a touchdown. The rookie out of Missouri. They need a spark. You heard Tracy talk about it, how this team, the Saints, are looking for something special to happen early. And it's Murphy. He's going to take a knee and bring Breeze and the Saints offensive unit out to the 20. 15th year in a Hall of Fame career. Now up to 402 career touchdown passes. That's 5th all time. Over 57,000 yards passing, 4th most in history.
Well, I'm not a body language expert. Bill Cowher said it in the pregame. I'll say it. I saw the look of desperation in Drew Brees' eyes down on the field and in the coaches. So we said it. They're desperate. They must win tonight.
And they're going to run it up the middle with Ingram. Remember, the left side of this line, Phil, tonight, Armstead and Lolito both are out. They've got backups in. One of the backups, the left tackle, there he is. Andrus Peat, their first-round pick out of Stanford this year, the 13th overall selection.
One of the reasons why they traded Jimmy Graham is they wanted to get an offensive line that was going to be big, powerful, and dominate football games, and that has not happened for them so far this year.
Robinson in at running back as they shift Omanawa Nui, the former Patriot tight end, into the backfield. Little play action here for Breeze. And a pass, never a clean catch. It was Snead, who's been quite a find for them, but perhaps a little edgy here at the start of the game. Lost his concentration, and Sean Payton's tired of seeing the mistakes add up here early in the season.
He knows in this game tonight, when you play this Atlanta defense, Dan Quinn, everybody knows he came from Seattle, so they're playing the same style. We're going to be simple, fast to the ball, and you cannot let opportunities like those short passes get away from you.
A pass that would have picked up the first down. And that's Cooks now shifting over into a slot to the right on 3rd and 6. And Breeze steps up away from the pressure. And this time he's able to get the reception to Josh Hill and the first, a gain of 12.
Really good job by Drew Brees. Something that just always has gone unnoticed about him in his career is the movement in the pocket and just his accuracy throwing the football. That's one of the big keys for Atlanta. They say if we could just get him to move, because this year when he's moved to throw the football on the run, he's made a few mistakes. He's held on to the football and fumbled a couple times last week against Philadelphia.
He's got Spiller set up wide as a receiver, but they're going to go to Watson, and Benjamin Watson has a first down gain of 8. You talk about Drew Brees, he's 36 years old, and the old quarterbacks. We saw Matt Hasselbeck win last Thursday night down in Houston. Peyton's got the Broncos 5-0. Brady's got the Patriots undefeated.
Yep, you don't call them old anymore in the NFL. You call them experienced, because to get that kind of experience, you got to be really good to hang in the league that long.
You saw Drew's record of 1-3 miss the game at Carolina with the shoulder injury. And that pass a little too steep for Watson.
2nd and short, took a free shot. Ben Watson, that would have had to have been a really beautiful throw over the top and drop it down. Not enough room to do it. And really, Drew Brees, I think the opportunity, he wanted to make a big play instead of taking the easy throw out in the flat, and puts him in a 3rd down situation now.
So they open the game with an Ingram rush for 4 yards. It's been followed by 4 consecutive pass plays. And now it's a 3rd and 2. Going to go up top again, and he's got a first down. And holding on to it with 2 hands is Snead to make that Hill. Josh Hill with his 2nd catch on this first drive, and this one a gain of 19.
This play took a while. Watch how long. Look at the protection for Drew Brees. Big pocket, stands in there, and really can wait for the 2nd receiver, and that's Josh Hill. Look, he gets to uncover because of the extra time that Drew Brees had in the pocket.
Brown, and Spiller has 7. They've gone to Hill on a couple of third down situations. He's converted both of them. We got a player down on the Saints, and it's Pete, the left tackle, who again was stepping up here with Armstead out. So Andrus Pete, the rookie left tackle, is on the table on the sideline. Here's what happened. He got rolled up.
Babineau chasing the runner from behind, rolls into his leg.
2nd down and 3, and Ingram trying to push off a few blockers and fight for the first. He's a yard short. So they brought in Tony Hills at tackle, and they are really getting thin now on that offensive line, already with 2 of their prominent players inactive tonight.
Well, I feel bad for Pete. He's a first-round draft pick. Last week he gets in, he has to start. Look, he has to go against Fletcher Cox of the Philadelphia Eagles. Just a terrific football player. And I know it's early, but Pete was off to a good start in the run game and protecting well.
3rd and 1 from the Atlanta 28. And Ingram appears to have it.
Well, you watch Mark Ingram. Of course, we saw him at Alabama, won the Heisman Trophy, and I've seen him here for many years. And I talked to Sean Payton about him, and when you watch him play, he looks like a different player now. He's just trimmer, more agile. And Sean Payton said he's been that way all offseason, training camp, OTAs. Is just turning into a big-time, solid professional running back.
He'll step aside for this snap. Robinson replaces it. Saints have converted 3 times on 3rd down in the opening drive, and they get it finally into the hands of Cooks for the first time. But the Falcons were wise to it. Hold them to a gain of 1. Never miss a moment of football action with the CBS Sports app. Every play, every story, and every highlight right as they happen. Download the CBS Sports app now at cbssports.com/mobile. So they send Spiller to the left side. Cooks to the right on the far right. 2nd and 9. Brees to Snead. And look at him go down to the 2. He pushed off, but just got away after the catch from Alford.
Watch the pump fake by Drew Brees. Gets everybody moving, and look at the hole it opens up for Snead on the left side. Everybody on the Atlanta Falcon defense knows. They talked about it. Don't go for the little pump fakes because it's a zone defense. That's what we saw. He makes it move a little bit, and gets guys wide open.
They picked up 24, and 1st and goal now for New Orleans. It's Ingram plowing ahead and fighting for it, and that's a touchdown. He took on Nate Stupar and won the battle. Backed him right into the end zone.
Sorry, Jim. Now you know why they took the opening kickoff. This defense, really good, strong run that time and determination to get it in the end zone because there was great penetration. But when you play this style of defense, which Atlanta, zone defense, Sean Payton designs. The start of his career as a coach was the go against zone defense. He expects his quarterback to hit 80% of his passes against these kind of looks.
For Ingram, his 3rd touchdown of the season. Hucker now with the extra point try. And that kick is good. So they drive the 80 yards in 12 plays. 6 different Saints handled the football. And it ends, the drive ends with a touchdown. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Wendy's. Nissan, innovation that excites. And by State Farm. Find your agent at statefarm.com. The World War II Museum, the National World War II Museum, right here in the Big Easy. It is quite a sight. And by the way, the Saints just tied the Chargers from 2002 through 12. 2nd longest regular season streak of scoring at least a touchdown all time. Second only to the Cleveland Browns of yesteryear. Here's the kick, and it's scooped up at about the 7 by DeMarco. And he is taken down at the 27. 20-yard run back, and now Matt Ryan ready to come out and try to match what Drew Brees just did. Take his team down the field. Matt Ryan and the Falcons swept the Saints last year. He threw for nearly 800 yards in the 2 games combined, with 4 touchdowns and no picks. And that opening drive by the Saints, exactly what Peyton was hoping for, getting this crowd into it. And they're quite boisterous here on the first snap for the Falcons. Ryan's pass off the fingertips of Julio Jones. Now for Ryan, he has played in 5 previous Thursday night games. He and Tom Brady are the only 2 quarterbacks who have played at least 5 times on Thursday Night Football and never thrown an interception. His numbers, well, they're dazzling. 8th year out of Boston College, 3rd overall pick back in 2008. Had them within a game of the Super Bowl 3 years ago. 2nd and 10. The fake to Freeman. He's going to pass again with all kinds of time. And he's got Jones this time. And he is knocked down from behind at the 42 by Ellerbe. But a big gain here for Atlanta. Down the field they go for 25.
They love to stack receivers. They send Hankerson down the middle. That draws the defense. And look at the vacuum it leaves for Julio Jones. And you're thinking, hey, the worst run defense in the NFL. That's the New Orleans Saints. That's why Kyle Shanahan, this offense, came out throwing the football, because they knew this Saints defense was going to be overly aggressive, worried about the run.
Let's make it a gain of 30, actually, at the 43 of New Orleans. Here's Freeman with the touch. Second leading rusher in the league. A flag is out as he goes out of bounds 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Cameron Jordan was back in that Atlanta backfield in a hurry, busting across the line.
Holding. Offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Jim, when you talk about NFL football, if you want to get and say something disparaging about your team, or you don't want it to happen to you, is let the other team run on you. It's like taking your man card away from you. And that's the way the Saints defense has to feel, the way they've been giving up runs. And they know that's all that's been talked about for 3 days or 4 days leading up to this game. And I know Rob Ryan, of course, he talked about it, thinks his team is going to get better and have a better chance of stopping him.
First and 20, and they go to Freeman, and he's able to get about 5 or 6 of it back. Again, Matt Ryan came in the league back in 2008, and in that time tied for the 5th most wins of any quarterback. He's actually led more game-winning drives since he came into the league than anybody else. Second in completions behind Drew Brees. He had a monster game tonight. 378 yards passing. He would actually reach 30,000 in his career passing. He's going to go over to Freeman. He's got a nice screen set up, and he hurdles down to the New Orleans 37. Ellerbe in on another tackle.
Very good. You got him up close to the line of scrimmage. You send everybody down the field. They're again trying to outnumber them in the run game, and they do this very well. There's no fat guys on this Atlanta team. Chris Chester, the right guard, gets out, makes a good block. And of course, anytime you can get Devontae Freeman to the outside edge on an offensive play, you want to take advantage of it.
Freeman's caught 2 passes. He was warming up down on the field an hour before the game, getting passes thrown to him by Matt Sims, who's on their practice squad as their 3rd quarterback. You might know him, Phil. Here we go, 3rd and 4, and that's Freeman's run down close to the first. Could be about a yard shy, but can't say enough things about what Freeman has brought to this offense, Phil.
Well, you know, Jim, they got 2 really outstanding running backs. Coleman's going to be in this game tonight too, fast. But Devontae Freeman, we talked to him yesterday, and what did he say? every play I'm 100%, practice and in games. Not surprised in this situation they're going for it. This is the right call by Dan Quinn.
Freeman leads the league with 8 touchdowns on the season. Second in rushing, first in scrimmage yards, and he's the tailback out of the eye on 4th and 1. And Ryan lost the handle and has taken down. The Saints defense feeding off the energy in this building. They deny the Falcons on their first series. May have just come off the shoulder of the fullback DeMarco. And Ryan's defense up to the challenge. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Nissan, innovation that excites. And by Bud Light. Make the right call, drink responsibly. Yeah, they're moving in a hurry and into the wee hours down on Bourbon Street. And right now, the Big Easy is excited about what they're seeing out of the Saints here at the start.
Well, it was a fumble by Matt Ryan. I don't think they were going to pick up the first down anyway.
Robinson takes it on the toss, squeezes through a tiny opening and picks up about 4, and we're going to head down to the sideline. Tracy.
Well, thanks, Jim. You see Tony Hill's in there at left tackle for the Saints. That's because Taron Armstead inactive with a knee injury, and now his backup Andres Pete in the locker room being evaluated as well for a knee injury. His return is questionable, Jim.
Well, thank you, Tracy. Hills is a 7th-year player. He's been around the league for a while. Was a long-time backup in Pittsburgh. And he blocked on that last play that led to a 5-yard gain by Kyrie Robinson. This time it's Spiller. Bouncing around, but not much there. Right into Warlow. Monday, October 26th, find out why critics are saying Supergirl is the TV superhero we've been waiting for. Supergirl. It premieres Monday, October 26th after a new Big Bang Theory. Only CBS.
Can the Atlanta Falcons, can they find a way to get to the quarterback? Drew Brees, lots of time, lots of space to throw the football so far in this game.
3rd and 4. A 3rd straight running play. And they will have a very short series this time. Only 1 for Ingram.
Adrian Claiborne, penetration, that's what they're about. Get in the backfield, makes the stop, and gets the tackle. And the one thing, 99 gets inside. Oh, man, he gets a running start. Great job. But when you talk about the Atlanta defense, it's about speed. And, Jim, we talked to Dan Quinn how much weight so many of these players lost so they can play faster and play longer.
Eric Weems is the returner for Atlanta, waiting for Brandon Fields to send it his way. He's not going to get anywhere near this one. This one flies into the end zone. So the Falcons' turnover doesn't lead to any points. They'll take it at the 20 after a net punt of only 34 with a touchback. 7-0. So the Falcons technically did not turn the football over the last time since Ryan recovered the fumble. It was a 4th down play and he was tackled. Just a turnover on downs. Not a takeaway for that Saints defense, which is starved to produce in that category. Here's a 1st down pass play by Ryan. Gets it over to DeMarco for 6. And Ellerby's all over the field, a 3rd tackle. Look at this division. You know, last year it was a mess. Carolina came on late and got into the playoffs, but trailed in the 4th quarter in 4 of their first 5 games. Came back to win. And the Panthers, hey, they've won now 7 straight regular season games. Tampa beat the Saints week 2. And the Saints 32nd in the league. You see it, 409 yards a game. Last in total defense, which is a yardage-based statistic. 2nd and 4 to Freeman with a jump cut and nothing there. Right into a pile of Saints, including Brandon Browner coming up. Give him 1.
Well, Brandon Browner's big enough to be a linebacker in this league. He is a corner and tall, about 6'4", but it's obvious. You sit there and go, well, why aren't the Atlanta Falcons trying to run the football more? Because you can see the stunning, but you can see their the number of people near the line of scrimmage against this Atlanta offense, trying to make sure they don't get run on.
3rd and 3 from the 27. Pressure on Ryan, and they get him back at the 15. Taken down by Edebali. Kasim Edebali, the second-year man out of Boston College, with the sack.
The initial protection is good, but nobody's open fast enough. And if there's a weakness to this offensive line, they cannot hold up against a power rush. And that time, it was Cameron Jordan that really caused the confusion and made Matt Ryan move, and Edebali got the sack.
Bosher, 5th-year man, has never had a punt returned against him in those 5 years for a touchdown. He's got a man ready to receive it. Has already run one back this year, and the Saints are on it. The Saints have the block, and they have the touchdown, just like what Gleason did back in 2006. Michael Moreeeee makes the play.
Pretty evident that we see a team playing with emotion, desperation. And the Atlanta Falcons were not ready for this to start this game.
How about Moreeeee comes crashing in, gets to the football before Bosher even has a chance to make contact, and makes the recovery and is able to crawl to the end zone. Is good. It looks so strikingly similar to what happened in the Saints return game against Atlanta, in fact, back in '06. The Steve Gleason play that this town will never forget.
We are back in one of the best venues in sports as the NFL and the Saints are to show us that you can go home again. The punt from Mike Kanan.
They got a block to the 5. The Saints are going to recover. Touchdown, New Orleans!
September 25th, 2006. Steve Gleason. You just knows the similarities to that play from 9 years ago to what just happened here. That block you saw the first game back after this franchise was displaced for a year. Hurricane having hit in late August of 2005, 10 years ago, and the Saints had to move their training camp to Jackson, Mississippi, and played in San Antonio and Baton Rouge during the season. 14-0, their largest lead of the year. And the Falcons, undefeated. But man, are they down in a hurry here. 14-0.
Well, they went for it on 4th. It was not going to work, even though they had the fumble. Of course, the block punt speaks for itself. What do? Well, you try to settle this game down. And you always say you settle it down with the run game, but I don't know if you can just line up and go after this Saints defense right now. As I've said a couple times, just running it. Keep them off balance. The big thing down here, this crowd noise, regain your composure and just find a way to get that first down.
Two tight end formation, fake to Freeman, and down the field they go to Jones. And Julio has a second big catch here in the first quarter. The first one for 30, this one's good for 23.
Yeah, Julio Jones, really good play action fake. Matt Ryan's great with the football, but down the field, reads the defense and stops in front of the safety, Bird, and an easy throw for Matt Ryan.
Freeman saw a little bit of that burst that He's been showcasing this season. He's got a gain of 6. Tuesday on CBS, he's a criminal's worst nightmare and the greatest asset the FBI has ever possessed. Don't miss the new hit drama Limitless, Tuesday at 10, 9 Central on America's #1 network, CBS. Ryder's bootleg, and Ryan on the run completes it to Roddy White. And just the 9th catch of the year for the Falcons' all-time leading receiver.
Well, I think they have found a way to get this football moving. The play action fakes have been great. Matt Ryan, good job throwing on the run. He's done it well. The thing he said I got to get used to doing is turning my back on the defense in these play action fakes like this one.
Ryan's hit his last 6 passes. And that time with Saints coming in on him, he just threw it into the ground. He was wanting to go deep.
It's close. He's in the pocket. And there's Toilolo, number 80, I guess, is in the area. He might have. If you're in the pocket, you got to get that football past the line of scrimmage.
Second and 10. It is the rookie Coleman, and look at Tevin Coleman. Sprint ahead down to the 23. He's got a pickup of 18. The rookie from Indiana taken in the 3rd round.
All you had to see, Coleman, as he runs through this hole. Wow, good job. Jake Matthews, the left tackle, leads the way. When he played last year against Ohio State, had big runs, and you said, wow, he's the best player out there on the field, and that's Indiana against Ohio State.
They had a 2,000-yard season last year at Indiana, only the 18th Division I player to ever have a 2,000-yard rushing season. He's spotted at the 25 and a new set of downs, and is pulled down by Jacob Tammy, who is knocked out of bounds to end the 1st quarter. Saints 14, Falcons nothing after 1. We'll return after these messages. You're watching Thursday Night Football. Arthur Blank, the owner and chairman of the Falcons, on the right. The approval of his purchase of the team came right here in New Orleans, in fact, and in special owners meeting the day before Super Bowl 36 back in January '02. We start quarter 2 with Ryan hitting right in stride Hankerson. And they fall on it again down at the 5, but they're marking back at the 7. Leonard Hankerson's been a nice find for them.
Got to come across the field. Another play action fake. Excellent job by Matt Ryan getting his feet set and throwing the football. Why do you see such man coverage? But again, because they're still worried about one thing, stopping the run. That's why these wide receivers are having success against the corners of the New Orleans Saints.
8 completions to 6 receivers and a 1st and goal. And Ryan pass knocked away and almost intercepted by Delvin Breaux. What a story he is. He's a homegrown talent here, Phil. He was all signed coming out of high school to go to LSU, broke his neck in his senior year of high school, attended LSU for 2.5 years. They never cleared him to play football. Eventually, he played in a minor league system, played in the Arena League, went to Canada, and then signs a free agent contract with his hometown team. Had his first NFL pick last Sunday in Philadelphia.
Yeah, in the end zone. Great story, and that was an excellent play off of a little move by Julio Jones.
2nd and goal. Ryan still has it. Good play action fake to the end zone, and it's caught by Roddy White for the touchdown.
Almost the same play we saw before. They're picking on Brandon Browner, trying to see if he can run across the formation, which is really hard to do always in this league. You worry about your own defenders, receivers on the other side. Here comes Hankerson, comes all the way across. Browner's on the coverage. Once again, I would have said, oh, they're in a running formation. That was Roddy White. Sorry they caught that pass. They were in a running formation, and it had me fooled. I thought they were going to run the draw up the middle. Good play action fake once again.
Roddy's first touchdown of the season. Extra point is good, and that is the 63rd touchdown catch of his decorated career. Most in Falcon history by any receiver. Last week, several of the Saints players made a visit to the Gail and Tom Benson Cancer Center at Ochsner Medical Center in Slidell. There you see the likes of Brandon Cooks on the left. Joseph Morgan there, number 13. As well as Tony Hills, who's now taken on a more prominent role with the injury on that line earlier by Andrus Peat. Bosher again handles the kickoffs. Line drive kick. No return.
Saw Matt Ryan talking to Kyle Shanahan. He's going, yeah, keep throwing those play action passes. He wasn't sure how much he liked them, but both of these quarterbacks, such great experience. Read defenses. They very seldom make a mistake in their decision making.
You have a high regard for Kyle Shanahan.
Well, the run game, you heard Bill Cowher talk about it in the pregame show. Defensive coordinators who become head coaches love guys or offensive coordinators like Kyle Shanahan because they know how to run the football.
First down pass play. Cooks.
Oh, that's right. His dad was pretty good at running the football too, wasn't he, for all those years. So, son like father. No question about that. But the other thing is, when you talk about Atlanta's offense real quick, is the play action passes. They're not faking it to throw 2-yard passes. They fake it to go down the field to make those big plays, which we've seen so far here tonight.
Easy. Check. Check. 5-5. Ready. That's it.
On 2nd and 4. And he fakes to Robinson and dumps it off in time to Benjamin Watson. And that's going to be good for a first. Benjamin Watson, 12th year in the league, came in as a first-round selection for the Patriots back in '04.
Well, and you know, Jim, he still has it. When you watch him, you go, now wait, is this still the Ben Watson? You know, because he's moved around a little bit, but he's been productive here. He can still run. When he came out of the university, he did a great job of covering that football up when you know contact is coming your way.
Easy. Opposite. 5-5. Ready. That's it.
First down carry here for Ingram. Gets knocked to the side after a gain of a couple. You know, the Saints, until they beat the Cowboys in overtime a couple of Sundays ago, they had lost 6 straight games at home. You know, this used to be a team that was almost automatic at home.
Yeah, well, there's many. What's the biggest reason? The coaching hasn't changed much. It's talent. They've lost key players. They've had salary cap problems. They tried to reorganize the team this year in a different way, and so far it has not worked out.
2nd and 8. Sidelines it. That's Robinson. Kyrie Robinson has another Saints first down. Catch and run for 18.
It's really simple. The running back's going to come out of the backfield in here, but just watch the defense as everybody backs up. Look at the hole now when he catches it. The extra time, again, that Drew Brees had to throw it. The more time the quarterback has, the farther the defense drops back, and the more yards you can get when you throw it to your running back underneath.
From midfield, Michael Robinson on the ground. Look out, there's going to be a big loss here. Robinson and nowhere to go and kept backpedaling. It cost him 8 yards. Look at Grady Jarrett, the rookie from Clemson, make this play.
97 gets up the field, and that's what they're about. And I was on the field before the game. And Jim, you remember last year we did the very last game of the year for the Atlanta Falcons against the Carolina Panthers. And what a difference looking at them now. And we talked to Dan Quinn about it. But this defense collectively, they lost a lot of weight, and you can see it. They're in better shape and faster.
2nd and 18. Brees to Cooks. Bobbled it, made the catch, picks it up, and goes within 5 of the first. So it was 2nd and 18. You got 13 of it back. Watch the catch.
It's incredible. They cannot get to Drew Brees. Vic Beasley tried to go underneath.
Did this hit the ground?
It sure did.
So
that's up to Dan Quinn. Oh, there comes the challenge flag. We had a nice conversation to him last night about game management and challenges and how much time he put in to all this getting ready to be a head coach.
No, this guy visited with like everyone. I mean, when he got the job, he went up to Saratoga, met with Coach Parcells. He went to Charlotte, visited with Joe Gibbs. He even
Atlanta is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
Won't take Gene Steratore long to figure this one out. He even went to New York and met with the head of officials, Dean Blandino. Kind of got a one-man seminar about the rules smartly.
Very good. That's right.
NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer. FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football, and by Voya Financial, changing the way you think of retirement. Little taste of New Orleans. Boy, did they know how to do it right here. Whether it's Dragos, Arnos, Commanders, Emeralds, and they're still mourning the loss a week ago of the great Paul Prudhomme. K. Paul's Kitchen.
After review, the ruling has been changed to an incomplete pass. The ball does hit the ground. The ball is incomplete. It will be 3rd down and 18. On the 42-yard line, Atlanta is not charged a timeout. With the game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 10 minutes, 57 seconds.
What he really wanted to know when he saw Blandino was, again, get complete understanding of the rulings of what is a catch. That was the thing he spent the most time on. This was an easy one.
Yeah, this was an easy one. Yeah, a lot to learn. Like last week, he knew right away, didn't waste any time in decision-making. Devontae Freeman, everybody thought he caught a game-winning touchdown or tying, and it was incomplete. And Dan Quinn knew right away when I'm coaching.
3rd and 18.
On that last one, I took the quick switch.
And there is no gain there for Spiller.
Good shot there, just the speed getting to Spiller by all the defensive players. They play a lot of guys on the defensive side. Run full speed and hit hard is the motto of this defense.
Brandon Field, first punt, went into the end zone. And getting it on the run here is Eric Weems. Out to the 30. Michael Mauti made the tackle, the one who had the block punt earlier. Son of Rich Mauti, a former Saint, 4th father-son combo to ever play for the Saints. Look at all these undefeated teams here. They got the #1 defense in the Broncos. Of course, Rodgers doing his thing. We'll see him Sunday. The Bengals 5-0 for the first time since back in '88 and Boomer. And the Patriots with the #1 total defense. I want to hear from you what has been the magic recipe for the Falcons for this start. After this play, a little pass play it is to Roddy White for 8. What is it, Phil? How have they done it with all these comebacks, the running game getting started?
Very good veteran quarterback, a new scheme of what they're doing, simpler on defense, made them faster. But when you have a quarterback, 2 really top-notch running backs, and one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, pretty good recipe to start with.
It's Freeman. Look at him go. Running right behind the fullback DeMarco for another 9. And a first down for Atlanta.
Well, what he's done so far, Jim, there you go, spreading the football around. Roddy White hasn't been a big part of this offense a lot this year in the passing game. 3 receptions so far tonight.
There's the fake to Freeman. Ryan, look at the catch by Toilolo. Toilolo takes it to the Saints side of the field for 11 and a first.
He's another guy, when you watch him, it's hard to even recognize him from last year. He's just so much more aggressive. There's nobody open down the field. Good job by the Saints defense. But once again, Matt Ryan, sneaky with the football. In other words, how he can move. Good stop, reloaded, threw it right on target.
Freeman. And to the 37, Stephon Anthony, the rookie first rounder from Clemson, in on the tackle. He was the one who was tangled up with Toilolo on the previous play. somersaulted over him.
Plays every play. Tough to do. Signal call for a defense as a rookie.
Back to Toilolo. He's got another first down for the Falcons.
You down 14-0. We're sitting here going, well, how are they going to get back into the game? They sped it up. Kind of a hurry-up offense. Got this Saints defense fatigued and guessing what's coming next.
Here's Coleman. And you like what you see out of Coleman, who was their featured back week 1 in the win against the Philadelphia Eagles. Had 20 carries that game for 80 yards and looked good in that opener.
Well, I'll just say this. The coaching staff for the Falcons, they think he can be special. Now, what's going to maybe keep him from being everything he wants? He is a rookie. You've got to learn how to read blocks and help your offensive linemen. That's what Devontae Freeman has done very well. But when you watch Coleman, you can tell there's a different speed to him than a lot of running backs you see in this league.
Pretty good 1-2 combo they got. 2 young kids. Here's Coleman. Look at his speed now. Chance to see it. Ball comes out, and the Saints, and maybe Browner, the Saints pounce on it for the recovery. Ellerby reached in and stripped it.
Outside running, the Falcons are absolutely the best in the league. DeMarco, good lead block, but in this league, you got to hold on to the football when you see contact coming.
Brandon Browner has the football at the bottom of the pile.
Ellerby, good hustle, shakes it loose.
Donnell Ellerby won a Super Bowl playing for the Ravens on this field in Super Bowl 47. Here he is reaching in. Look at him. Pop it loose. Signed the big free agent deal with the Dolphins, who then traded him this year to New Orleans. Saints take over at the 9. And that's a catch. Quite a catch it is, too, by Snead. Well, undrafted. Tonight, the NFL hopefuls face their biggest test at the Super Regional Combine. And then football town Barrow, Alaska. Mother Nature ignites the Whalers' fighting spirit. 2-hit NFL Network original series tonight after the postgame. Only on NFL Network.
Hey, Mike 5-5, Mike 5-5. Ready.
2nd and 2. And it's Ingram stacked up short of the first. Bartu able to get a hit on him. And it's going to be 3rd and 1 for New Orleans. They need to do something with this opportunity, because it looks like the Falcons, before that fumble, they were starting to get their offense in gear.
Well, the offense is rolling, which you would expect against this New Orleans defense. They've got the emotion out of the game. It's settled down for the Falcons offense. Big play here for this New Orleans offense.
And there is nothing to be found at all for Ingram. Soliai and others point to that sideline and said, we did our part.
Tyson Jackson is the one that ruins the play. He's one of those guys, when you watch him this year compared to last year, I know it's a different style defense, but the weight loss, the speed, how he can penetrate back in the backfield like that, a big moment, and make the play.
So Fields, his 3rd punt. Very returnable for Weems.
Yep, it was low.
And the flag comes in. The punting chores have been on hold here for Thomas Morstead as he recovers from a quad injury. The fine Saints longtime punter, who might be back for their next game against Indianapolis. This could be it for Fields after
During the return,
tonight.
Holding receiving team number 23. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down, Atlanta.
Well, there have been some miscues here. That 4th down bobble. And, of course, the great play by Markey. Ellerby forcing only the second lost fumble of the year for the Falcons. Of course, with all that happening, it's still just 14-7. Saints racing out to the 14-0 lead. And now let's see if Ryan and the Falcons continue to move the football. Over to DeMarco. And the fullback. He takes on Kikaha and has a first down. Your weekend next Thursday starts here. The Seahawks and the 49ers out west. Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network.
Play action game once again. Protection. The fullback DeMarco wide open.
Ryan down the middle and trying to get it back into the hands of Roddy White. Double coverage out there and pass overthrown.
You know, Jim, as you watch this game, it's just tough to have a defense that's going to be consistent and outstanding when you just never get to the quarterback. And that's I don't care sometimes how great we pick on the secondary of the Saints. Well, if you're not getting sacks and you're not making the quarterback throw the football before he's ready, all pros back there are going to give up some easy completions.
Atlanta's out yardage the Saints 92-32 in this quarter. 2nd and 10. Wide open lane here for Freeman. He takes it to the 50. Jacob Tamme, the longtime tight end with the Broncos and the Colts, helped clear it for 12.
Well, he's having a good year here. He comes around, just watch the block, and Devontae Freeman does such a great job. Stays to the right, and at the last second he cuts back. The one thing they love about him, he gets the offensive lineman in good position, then he takes advantage of it with a good run.
Jordan giving chase. Pass caught by Julio down to the 35. Another 15 yards to Jones.
We should have had next-gen stats on Matt Ryan tonight, because look at this play-action fake. For a guy that says he had to get used to turning his back to the defense, seems to be enjoying it tonight. All these bootlegs, getting outside. You got to set the edge on the defensive side, and the Saints are not doing that. That's why he's getting out there making these easy throws.
Jones 3 catches for 68 yards. And again, Freeman untouched past the line and inside the 20. Jake Matthews, the left tackle, was the one who opened up things that time for 19.
You've watched it a lot. Just watch the left side. Jake Matthews and Devontae Freeman. Did you see the little head fake? It was just so small you can barely see, and then just takes off. And if you're going to be a good running team, your wide receivers have to get in the way of defensive backs once they break past the line of scrimmage.
They've already rushed as a team for 94 yards, and a flag brings a halt to things here.
False start. Offense number 67. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, last week a career high 153 yards. Here's a look at the next gen stats. His rush chart.
Look at it, everything is outside in a league that's so fast on the defensive side now. Well, how do you get outside and make all these runs? Well, great design, tremendous teamwork by the offensive lineman, play calling, and then of course the one that puts it over the top, an excellent running back.
He's in there. Coleman's back in also. On 1st and 15, Coleman. They pull him back with Williams, Kevin Williams. Oh, you know, think about Freeman, taken a year ago out of Florida State in the 4th round. And this so often happens, you just go for a long stretch without ever catching your breath. He was on the national championship team for Florida State, went through the combines, the draft, the OTAs, his rookie season, like 18 straight months.
Yes. They're exhausted by the time that halfway through the rookie year goes by. And what did he say? I took 2 weeks off. Been training full speed. Practices the same way, and it shows up in the game.
2nd and 14. They split him wide left. And they go to Tamme. Wrestled down at the 14. Yeah, Freeman Again, his second season, his first ever NFL touchdown came here against the Saints in New Orleans last December, and now he comes out. He's already scored 8 touchdowns through the first 5 weeks. We're approaching the 2-minute mark, and Atlanta has a 3rd and 8. And I was wondering if they were going to blow the whistle, and they do. So 2-minute warning. Falcons trying to drive and tie things up here in the second quarter. Coming up, the Lexus halftime report. James Brown and Deion Sanders, Coach Bill Cowher. They'll break down all the first half action. 3rd down coming up for Atlanta. Out of the 2-minute warning. And again, the ball's on the ground. And they signal Saint football. My goodness, have things gotten sloppy for Atlanta tonight. Recovered by Ellerbe, who forced the last fumble. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry in this weekend for great fall savings. And by AARP Real Possibilities as you look across the Mississippi River to downtown New Orleans.
Well, the fumble happens. Here comes the blitz. I go, why is Stone so worried about getting out there in pass protection? He sensed the blitz coming. It was Ellerbe, and he ended up hitting himself on the snap.
Here's a little screen pass set up, and right there to make the play is Babineau.
Wow.
On Ingram, and a loss of 2.
How good did he look there?
Ooh.
Man, he looked like a fullback down the field before the game, sprinting. In fact, they drop him back, defensive linemen, they drop him back in coverage sometimes to help out the pass of the other team. So playing well here again tonight. They love Babineau.
How about the Falcons, Phil? They go 61 yards, drive it, lose a fumble, get it back. They go 57 yards, lose a fumble, and find themselves now blowing all these opportunities in the first half.
Well, it's still 14-7. Can you stop Drew Brees in a situation like this?
Now the Falcons defense again quickly on Ingram, holding him to 5.
And the key was that first down play, Babineau putting them behind the chains.
A 30-second timeout.
It's like I was just getting ready to say, Jim, you know, you get in a situation like this, anytime you see Drew Brees, 3 timeouts, just a little under 2 minutes, you go, well, you know he's going to get at least a field goal try out of this because he seems to always do that. But this is a different team. It's been a little harder this year, but he's played well so far here tonight.
Well, the Saints offense took the opening kick and started from the 20, drove down 80 yards, scored a touchdown. Not a whole lot since. 3rd and 7. Brees going to keep the drive going. He's got Benjamin Watson for the first.
Best play of the night by Drew Brees. The blitz. This is not a blitzing team. And they get a linebacker coming free right at Drew Brees, and he stood in there and made that throw for a big first down.
Picks up 13. Movement on the left side. It's going to be on Hills.
Ball start. Offense. Number 76. 5-yard penalty. First down.
They don't blitz too often. Warlow, 55, free. And Drew Brees knows he's unblocked, but he stood there, made that throw, and
got 1:21 to go in the half, and still with all 3 timeouts.
We're good over here. Ready. Ready. That's it.
The middle. Caught for the first down. Again, it's Watson. His 4th catch of the half. This one for 16. Timeout called by the Saints.
Perfect throw by Drew Brees. Throw it high where your guy can go up, make the catch. And Watson, he has absolutely softened the, the blow of not having Jimmy Graham here, who they traded away to the Seattle Seahawks.
You know, for Graham in that trade, they got Max Unger, who they've been very impressed with here in New Orleans, and the 31st pick in the first round, which is Stephon Anthony, the middle linebacker who we've seen in on a lot of plays tonight. First down, 1:15 to go. Brees back to Watson for a third consecutive time, running away from Ishmael. And Brees and Watson in tandem for 29 on this occasion.
Ishmael, number 36, is up near the line of scrimmage, tackling safety. Loves to stop the run, very physical. That is not one of his strengths, covering tight ends down the field.
Brees has hit 13 of his last 14. Now he goes down, hit from behind. What a play there by Claiborne.
Well,
first sack of the night.
It's about, besides the blitz, I think it's the only time he's been hit besides that other blitz we saw, Jim. The coverage was good enough. He had to look for the second receiver, and it caused a sack.
Again, coming up, the Lexus halftime report. JB, Dion, and Coach with their thoughts on the first half. And we've got 1 minute and 2 to go. What have you seen so far?
Well, everything. Of course, the thing that really stands out in this first half is the mistakes by the Atlanta Falcons. And I think what I've seen from the New Orleans Saints, just the desperation that you would expect from a 1-4 team.
Saints with one timeout now. And a 2nd and 18. Dump it off. It's Watson. It's now up to 6 catches on the game.
I'll tell you again, Paul Warlow, the linebacker, 55 there in on the tackle, and he's a different player too this year. Just to, you know, sometimes like quarterbacks, running backs, you got to get in the right system to show your talents. And this system here, what they do, the way he has gotten in shape, lost some weight also, faster. Good play by him.
Letting the clock run down to 25 seconds on 3rd and 15. Down the field, and he was wide open. It was Watson. And Drew knows a lost opportunity down near the 5-yard line.
They were letting the clock run because they thought, okay, we'll have to throw it short, and we don't want to give any time to Atlanta's offense. But he gets Watson wide open.
They'll try now a 51-yard field goal with 21 seconds to go in the quarter. Luke McCown to hold it for Zach Hocker, who's 8 out of 10. And it does not hook enough. The Falcons will take over at the 41 with 16 seconds and a first down to play with.
Well, that would change the game all around if they could have hit that play to Ben Watson, of course. And probably the one good thing, looking back, the fact that they were playing the clock and the situation, so it only left 16 seconds on the clock for the Atlanta Falcons offense.
So Hocker, who missed that 30-yard attempt in the late stages to beat Dallas in regulation 2 weeks ago, misses for the 3rd time of the year, 8 of 11. But now Atlanta can do something with this, with the timeout. Got Julio Jones going to the right side. Bro is on him. Hankerson for 8 or 9 near the 50. And this timeout called by Atlanta. Well, we had a Hail Mary last Thursday night going into the locker room at halftime. The Texans able to pull that off. Brian Hoyer to Jalen Strong.
But they're not going to try that here right now. They're going to try to find a way to pick up, I would say if they pick up 8, 9 yards, if they're going to try a field goal attempt on the last play of the first half.
Yeah, they're going to have to get out of bounds. I don't know if there's...
And you got to remember, it's going to have to go outside, so you got to play. Your defensive backs are doing a great job lining up. They're not going to let them catch the football and get out of bounds.
Ball tipped up into the air and incomplete with 4 seconds to go.
You know, it's almost like what Dan Quinn said, you know, here it was for Sean Payton, who knows, and Rob Ryan, a situation, game management, what to do. So they put all defensive backs near the sideline to make sure that you couldn't catch and get out of bounds.
All right, now they drop back. The Saints secondary all the way back around the 10-yard line. Of course, a jump ball, you got to love Julio's chances. If Ryan has any chance to throw it. And he's taken down at the 45. Boy, that was a hard-earned 5 for the quarterback, who'll go to the locker room now down 7.
I love what they did on the defensive side. Everybody gets back, but look at the overload blitz. They're not going to let him sit back there and move and then heave one into the end zone like we saw last week that went for a touchdown. So really good call by Rob Ryan in that situation.
All right, let's go down to Tracy.
Thanks so much, Coach. A couple of blown opportunities there. What do you attribute the miscues to?
Well, let's give them the credit, too. You know, have the opportunity to take care of it and get some points. So we knew it was going to be an all-night fight. We're ready to go. But, yeah, those miscues, that's the one that hurt us.
What do you need to see from your team in the second half?
Well, just really taking care of the ball better. And defensively, Russ going to get it. So that'll be the real factor. It's going to come down to the ball for sure.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much, Jim.
And again, thank you, Tracy. They've come from behind in the fourth quarter for 4 of their 5 wins. Halftime in New Orleans with the Saints on top 14-7. Now there is a near turnover by the coach. But the game plan. We'll be back with Alexa's halftime report after this message. And a word from your local station. You're watching Thursday Night Football. It's Ingram plowing ahead, and that's a touchdown. The Saints have the block and the touchdown to the end zone, and it's caught. A 14-7 lead for New Orleans as the third quarter is about to get underway with the Saints kicking to the Falcons. And let's double check this highlight from the first half presented by State Farm. The Bosher punt blocked by Moreeeee, who gets right up, blocks it, recovers it, runs it in for the touchdown. You know, the Falcons had 6 possessions in the first half, Phil. 5 of them, they advanced to the New Orleans side of the field, but only scored 1 time. The 1 time they did not go to the Saints end of the field was the block punt that led to the touchdown.
Well, you look at it so far, the Falcons, it's pretty easy to say, but just don't make these big mistakes in the turnovers. The plays are there. You heard that from the guys at halftime.
Right off the crossbar and skids back up against the wall. They'll start at the 20. And, you know, you talked at the start tonight, you said we're going to really be checking the rushing numbers in this game. First half, Atlanta, 100 yards on the nose, on the ground. New Orleans, 18 yards.
Well, let's give some credit to the Atlanta defensive front. It is the best maybe stopping the run in the NFL. But when you look at the Saints, just real quick, on the offensive side, Drew Brees played almost a perfect first half. They give you those short throws, but the problem is you got to find a way to make that big play to get you in the end zone. And after the opening drive, the Saints offense, it struggled.
The sideline, a little 5-yard pass play to Julio. And let's go over to Tracy.
Thanks a lot. You mentioned the New Orleans run game being non-existent. Well, I spoke with Sean Payton, and he said the loss of left tackle Andrus Peat was huge. They need to do a better job of blocking. He said they need to establish the run game and be more balanced. Just 18 yards isn't going to cut it, Jim.
2nd and 5, and Ryan is hit, but gets it away somehow. Catch is made by Freeman's going to lose a yard or 2. It was John Jenkins all over Ryan. Somehow was able to release it.
The coverage down the field was excellent. They were going for the home run shot. They got everybody in there blocking. Look how long he has to throw the football. So you got to give credit to the Saints secondary, not fooled and ready after halftime to maybe stop some of the play action passes.
Nick Williams has come in as an extra receiver. That's Williams in motion to the near side. 3rd down and 7. And they get it over to Williams. Second-year player out of UConn has a 1st down. Gain of 10 in that first half. Atlanta had 14 first downs. The Saints had 10. And we talked about the rushing disparity. The turnovers, though, by the Falcons. 2 turnovers. A punt blocked. And that's Freeman. Stutter step move out to about the 39. Williams making the catch on the previous play. Became the 8th different receiver tonight. Catch a ball for the Falcons. Here's their first half chart.
Well, what they do so well for the receivers, they move them, they stack them. Nick Williams was the second of 2 guys. Hard to play tight coverage when they're off the line of scrimmage like that.
Got a flag down.
Ten-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
Called on Chris Chester, the right guard. Tonight on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, don't miss Oprah. And tomorrow, Stephen welcomes Jimmy Kimmel. It's all new. It's only CBS. Saints without Keenan Lewis for this snap. He's on the sideline.
Probably when healthy, their best cover corner. We've talked about it. You told the story of Delvin Breaux. He's been outstanding. Had a solid night tonight here also. Brandon Browner is the one that's had some problems.
2nd down, 15. Pass over the head of Levine Toilolo.
Well, a couple things. The play action pass, the Saints defense was ready for it here in the second half. They shut it off and made it tough on Matt Ryan. Now, 3rd and long, you just want him to throw it short, make sure you're in position, come up and make the tackle. Look how deep everybody is except the 4 rushing the quarterback.
3rd and 15. Teron Ward is in the backfield. And they're going to flip it over to him. And Ward is held to a short gain. He's bounced out by Brian Dixon.
Well, you know, you never know what you're going to see. 4 rushers, but look, everybody back here, they're going to make sure they're going to make Matt Ryan throw it short and rally for the tackle. And the one thing Kyle Shanahan told me, getting ready for the game, he goes, Rob Ryan, you never know what he's going to do. Even in a short week, he'll show you something that you've never seen before.
No pressure this time on Bosher. A fair catch signal by Murphy at the 30. One of the better defensive series of the game for the Saints, and we'll see Breeze in the offense. First time in the second half in a moment. Wake up and watch with the world for the first time ever. The NFL streaming a live game on Yahoo. Bills Jaguars from London, Sunday morning, October 25th, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Learn more at yahoo.com/NFL stream. And Breeze loads it up and has gone right back to Watson, who's having a monster performance. That one for 22 yards.
How about this? Watson comes across the field. Great play fake, but he's not really open. But Drew Brees reads the fact that Warlow, I think it's Warlow, the linebacker, is not turned around, so he throws it. Almost like a back shoulder throw you would see going down the sideline against the quarterback. Great decision by Drew Brees.
7 catches, 94 yards for Watson. As Ingram, again, the running game stagnant. That's now 9 carries for 15 for the night for Ingram.
You know, in the old days, whatever, 10 years ago, 15, whatever you want to say, throws like that would never happen. Quarterbacks would have went to the next receiver or what. But now the receivers, the quarterbacks are accurate. The receivers attack the football. And even though Warlow, the linebacker, was all over it, it didn't matter. If he's not watching the quarterback, throw it past his head before he can turn.
How many back shoulder throws did you make in your career?
Well, a lot, to a guy named Mark Bavaro.
Yeah, that's what I thought. 2nd and 8. Quick toss over to Spiller. Spiller has Hill in front of him. Able to help get Spiller an extra yard or 2 on the edge. It'll be 3rd down on the way. Saturday, the SEC on CBS. Brings on the best game from the best conference. It's Alabama and Texas A&M. The unbeaten Aggies play host. And the hoopla begins with college football today.
Well, you remember I said early, Drew Brees, if you play zone against him, that Sean Payton expects to hit 80%. Well, they're only 18 of 22. A couple man coverages in there. But the big thing is they can't make that big play down the field to get that score.
3rd down, and that's going to produce a first. Cooks, 3rd catch of the night, goes for 8. Yeah, Watson, he's been Brees' favorite target tonight.
Well, we come into the game and you see his next-gen stats, all the routes he's run and caught the football. We think, well, Jimmy Graham, we got to make a story of this, and all the goes around it, and then we watch Ben Watson doing exactly what Jimmy Graham did for many years down here.
First down for the Saints. Brees senses the pressure, so he goes down the field and incomplete. Trying to get it to Spiller. Let's get back to this Jimmy Graham and really reshaping what the Saints wanted to be as a result of that trade.
Well, they trade salary cap reasons.
Yep.
They get Max Unger. So you take Max Unger, you get that, and then you get, you have all the other offensive linemen out to the like Jari Evans. They have Armstead at left tackle. They're hoping to turn their team into more physical, run the football. And if they could do that, control the game, draft some players on defense and protect their defense with really the kind of offense we see from the Atlanta Falcons. But it's not worked out that way so far.
2nd and 10. Back over to Spiller. Cooks trying to help seal that edge. And they'll mark him out just inside the 30. Give him 5 more.
So does that make sense? They were in a little trouble. So, they take Jimmy Graham, the money. They tried to trade him. They thought they could build this big, really offensive line. They could control the line of scrimmage and really kind of change the way a little bit, the way Sean Payton runs his football team. And they knew they were going to be young on the defensive side, but they haven't been able to protect that young defense as much as they thought they would.
3rd and 5 for the Saints. Stack up 3 receivers off the right. Got an open man for the first. Starting down to the 21 is Spiller. 8 more. And they move the chains. Saints' most impressive drive since the opening drive of the game.
Tried something different. That time they took their outside linebacker or defensive end. Vic Beasley dropped him off. And O'Brien Schofield on a little blitz inside. Brees all over it, gets the completion.
16 of his 21 completions have been to running backs or tight ends. That one should have been another one to a tight end. Hill unable to get the handle on it.
I thought the bootleg pass was almost dead in the NFL because the speed and these outside linebackers and defensive ends run so well. I've seen more here in this game by these 2 teams than double of what we've seen all year long in all the games we have done.
And again, the Saints wide receiving core without their all-time receiver, Marcus Colston, inactive with a separated shoulder. 2nd and 10. And Brees escapes what would have been a sack and is able to pick up 3.
Good job. Little different coverage this time. Caught him by surprise. The safeties were back instead of just one in the middle. So Brees made a little something out of nothing. But here's the problem. Long drives, a lot of good plays. But can you make that one play that gets you in the end zone?
3rd and 7. They go draw. And Atlanta has 1 man on it. Warlow.
Man, that was quick by Paul Warlow. .55 all the way across the formation. That's what I said. He's just a different player from the guy that played linebacker for this Falcons team last year. So, sideline to sideline, that was a big tackle.
Hocker comes back out. This will be a 31-yard attempt from the right hash mark. Missed from 51 at the end of the first half. And the kick is good. Puts the Saints back up by 10. 17-7. Mid-third. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by AT&T. DirecTV and AT&T are now one, bringing television and wireless together. Tostitos, chips, and dips bring the party. And by the all-new Mazda CX-3. Mazda, driving matters. Since 1948, Blaine Kern's Mardi Gras World is where the floats are made and stored for the Mardi Gras parades in New Orleans. There'll be some partying going on tonight if the Saints can get this very important, much-needed win. Leading by 10 and having scored now on their first possession of each half. A touchdown to open the game, a field goal on the first series of the third quarter.
Now wait, you know, come on. No matter what happens in this game, you know there's going to be some partying going on tonight.
Well, when you're in town.
Well, yeah, I'm a party animal,
that's
baby.
That's everything.
That's me. I'll take you out with me tonight.
Oh, thank you. I'll go. Saints lead it 17-7. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson, Mike Carey, decorated official, Super Bowl referee, up here in the booth with us. 1st and 10. As Freeman scoots outside for about 3. We have 3 rookie head coaches this year. There'll be a 4th one actually debuting this weekend at Tennessee. Dan Campbell, interim at Miami. But here's what they've done so far. Great starts for not only Dan Quinn, but Todd Bowles. And we're going to see Coach Tom Sula next week on Thursday Night Football. 49ers hosting Seattle. 2nd and 8. And knocked down incomplete in the area of DeMarco. Now, Quinn was a guy that was on everyone's radar. He had those 2 spectacular years as the defensive coordinator, the last 2 years where the Seahawks defense led the league in fewest points allowed, fewest yards allowed. Everybody wanted him.
Yeah, there's no doubt his style of coaching is so different than what we're used to in the NFL. It is like Pete Carroll. Be positive with the guys. So far, the results speak for themselves. It's worked. The players love him, and they play hard for him.
The players call him DQ. More than they call him coach. 3rd down and 8. Ryan's pass is deflected and falls harmlessly incomplete. But it was tipped at the line by Edibali, who had a sack in the first half. And Rob Ryan, boy, he is fired up tonight.
Blitz on the outside. The initial protection was pretty good. Picks it up, but that's the 2nd tip pass in that drive. Both passes by Matt Ryan were tipped by the defense. The pocket was being pushed back in Matt Ryan's face pretty quick.
Going on here inside the dome, and this
really low
line drive that Murphy hoped to make more out of it. Well covered by Weems down the field. Hawthorne as well. Friend and colleague at CBS Sports on Tuesday, Bill Weiler, passed away, survived by his wife Harriet, sons Mike, Matt, and Billy. Took great pride in his partnership with CBS Sports as our courier, and everyone at the office so saddened to hear and learn of his passing just a couple of days ago. Here's a handoff to Robinson, and this could be such an important possession here if the Saints are able to do anything with it.
Oh, absolutely. You look at the score. Here it is, 17-7. You're down 2 possessions, and the Saints They've been marching just like that last drive. They make a lot of plays. If you let them go down the field and score a touchdown, then it turns into frantic time for the Atlanta Falcons. So the defense, they've been moving backwards, but they find a way to stop them.
A 2nd and 7. That's to Snead. His 3rd catch of the night, and he fights for every inch. Gain of 19.
Well, they're trying to give him a different look, Jim, and so the Stupar is going to come on the blitz, but then look down the bottom and how wide open the receiver is. The blitz come from that side. Drew Brees saw it. They play zone behind it, and the area for Snead was big.
Snead is quite a story. He had 141 yards receiving last week against the Eagles, his first career 100-yard game. Here's Brees looking long, and then we'll take underneath Robinson. I mean, here's Brees, who a couple of years ago had the longest streak in the history of the league of consecutive games with at least 1 touchdown pass. 54 consecutive games. That streak came to an end on a Thursday night game against Atlanta. And since that streak ended, he started a new streak, which he's currently on at 40 consecutive. So he's 94 out of 95. The only miss was, again, against Atlanta Thursday night 3 years ago. Nothing so far tonight. 2nd and 4. Tough pass, but it's on the mark. It's Watson, and they're in the red zone down at the 17.
Well, once again, Drew Brees gets outside. Bierman can't get there quick enough. How about that throw on the run, falling backwards, great leverage, perfect technique, and it is right on target.
How about Watson? 8 catches, 111 yards. That's a career high. Boy, if you had games like this in New England, there may never been a Gronkowski up there in New England, you know.
Well, New England likes a lot of good tight ends, so, but he is playing well this year. Terrific night tonight.
And 1st down from the 18. Snead, make that Hill. Hill has a gain of about 5. Week 6 of the NFL season continues Sunday on CBS and Fox. Check your local listings for the game in your area.
You know, when you watch Sean Payton, he's an ex-quarterback, you know, high school, college, Eastern Illinois. But he really calls the play like he's out there being the quarterback, the thinking, the throws, the designs.
That's a 1st down, picked up at the 6 by Robinson.
And I've said it many times when I watch him play, Jim. It's like Drew Brees is him. This is the offense he would design for himself if he would have made it in the NFL, how he'd want to operate. A thinking man's offense, a lot to it. Make the right decisions. And Drew Brees does all those things for him.
1st and goal. Brees still has it. He's got a Falcon defender right on him through the pass in the area of Moreeeee. That was Brooks Reed, the former Texan, applying the pressure and forcing the quick pass.
Yep, good discipline, stayed outside. Those bootleg passes have been just beating up both defenses.
Look what the Saints have done this quarter. Out yardaging Atlanta by 85. And now 2nd and goal. And they run it up the middle with Spiller. 3rd down coming from the 3.
Is Hagman, last year's 2nd-round pick, making the tackle for Minnesota. Like you see a lot of times with defensive linemen, they struggle a little the first year, but once they learn to handle it, he's done a good job. Well, Drew Brees always kind of has that move. He's always shaking his arm even when it feels great.
3rd and goal. Looking for anyone open, and it's wide of the mark. Well covered up, though. Pass in the direction of Coleman.
Excellent coverage that time. Backed up. This is what they want to do.
They're going to go for it, I think. They're going to go for it on 4th and goal.
really surprised. I would kick the field goal, because if you kick the field goal with 2:27 to go, how much time you got? One more field goal would then put you up 23-7, 3 scores. So, and they got what they wanted.
Encroachment. Defense number 77 makes contact. Half the distance to the goal. Still 4th down.
Yeah, it's still 4th down. And again, back to the issue at hand. You kick it, go for it. They've kept the offensive unit out there.
Well, they got the offsides. That was a big deal. Maybe that's all they were trying to do there, because your options.
If you do kick it here and kick another field goal, it is still actually just 2 scores. Here's over the top, wide open for the touchdown to Watson, who's having the career night.
And by getting those 2 yards, Don Payton never afraid to take a chance, that's for sure. We saw that down the Super Bowl when they beat the Indianapolis Colts. But getting those 2 yards changes so much, because now the play action fake, the defense overplays and nobody covers Ben Watson.
Watson's 2nd touchdown catch of the season, his 9th catch of the night. Breeze extends his streak to 41 games. And the extra point now makes it a 3-score game at 24-7.
From the 4-yard line, you're thinking pass all the way. From the 2, you're thinking run. And they got fooled.
NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by GMC. We are professional grade. And by Lowe's. Hurry in this weekend for great fall savings. Cafe Du Monde. Absolute must stop over. When you come to New Orleans, get the beignets. It's been that way there since 1862. Wow, that was a gutsy call. Breeze, again, 95 out of 96 games with a touchdown pass. Gets the one on 4th down to Watson.
Well, I wonder if they didn't get the encroachment, do you think they still would have gone for it on 4th and 4? That, to me, I think that's what they were trying to set up, get it to the 2. They got Hageman to jump off sides.
Here's the touchdown from the pylon camera.
Good play action fake.
You know what we're heading to? We're heading to a 4th quarter with Atlanta going in with a deficit. This has been the story so far early in the season, having won 4 times, overcoming 4th quarter deficits. 5 wins, 5-0, but 4 of the times 4th quarter comebacks.
Well, I think when we talk about, you know, you're right there, Jim, but talk about Sean Payton going for it. He has been a risky, he's not afraid to make those big decisions during the game in his whole career.
Across the middle to Hankerson. Hankerson signed as a free agent by way of the Redskins, where of course he had played for the likes of Kyle Shanahan, so he's familiar with the system that's been brought in here this year, and he has played well. Former 3rd-round pick out of the University of Miami, left of the school as the Hurricanes' 5th all-time receiver in catches and yards. 2nd and 2. Was able to get a handle of it. Hankerson, we just spoke of. Again tonight, the NFL hopefuls face their biggest test, the Super Regional Combine on undrafted, and then Barrow, Alaska. Mother Nature ignites the Whalers' fighting spirit. The 2-hit NFL Network original series tonight after the postgame, only on NFL Network.
Sean Payton going crazy on the sideline. He said the Atlanta Falcons had 12 people in the huddle.
3rd and 2. And Ryan spins around. He might take off for it. He's going to pick up the first. Oh, when he got hit up in the helmet area.
What a play by Matt Ryan. 3-man rush. I think he felt it right away. Most veteran quarterbacks know when it's only a 3-man rush, they got extra time.
That's Kikaha, who made contact with him, the rookie from the University of Washington.
Yep, that's a clean hit. But a huge play by Matt Ryan.
Kyle Wilson, the former Jet corner, is in, number 24. Fake the quick pass and hand it off to Freeman. And he's able to peel off about 14, maybe 15.
That's right. Don't forget about the run game just because they're down 24-7. I've watched these games by the Atlanta Falcons when they're down, and you think, oh, it's going to be pass every play. And then, hey, they rip off these big runs. They've come back. Even last week, they came back and beat Washington more with their running game at the end than their passing game.
You saw Kyle Shanahan, the coordinator for this Falcons offense, and there is another nice run by Freeman that'll probably run us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Actually, Ryan's going to try to get off another play. He knows that every second, down 3 scores, he's going to need to make the most of this clock if he can. And they let the play go. He just tossed it wildly. And Jordan is right there, but a flag is down. Might have been a horse collar.
Horse collar. What it looked like. To me, risky play, though. So hurriedly trying to get one more play in before the end of the quarter.
Almost looked like Gene Steratore wasn't so sure he saw it the same way, but let's see.
There is no foul for a horse collar tackle. The tackle was the jersey of the running back and not the collar. The runner's down. It will be 3rd down, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter.
Boy, they regret it now that they even got that play off. End of the 3rd, and we'll return after this message and a word from your local station. We're starting the 4th quarter. We've looked a couple of times at that last penalty that was waved off, and it looks like it definitely should have been a horse collar penalty against the Saints. But it's 3rd and 10 to open the 4th. We got flags down. Free play here for Atlanta, and Jones takes it for about 8.
Go back, previous spot there. Offside, defense. Number 44. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, replay. 3rd down.
Here's the previous play, Mike Carey.
Yes, here's what makes it a horse collar. He does get inside the jersey, and he's outside the tackle box. So he is protected. This is one they would like to have back. But when in doubt, they always try to go with no foul.
Well, it's a huge call. They lost 5 instead of would have gained 15 on the personal foul. Nonetheless, after this encroachment penalty against the Saints, it's a 3rd and 5. They take the penalty yards instead of the Jones catch, of course. So here comes Ryan. Sidearm and incomplete for Julio. Broken up by Bro.
Delvin Bro, excellent job. Matt Ryan wanted to throw it into the flat to the running back. He was covered. Threw it a little behind, and
Atlanta's going to go for it here on 4th and
not surprised.
5.
You're not slowing the Saints offense down. You're down 24-7. I don't think Dan Quinn has any choice but to go for it here.
Timeout, New Orleans. During the summer, Leading up to training camp, every day Dan Quinn had his assistants give him game situation scenarios. 1 hour every day, same time. Coach, it's 4th and 5, 14:28 to go in the 4th quarter. You're down 17. What do you do? I mean, that's just the way they would play it out. They play all these percentages. They review it.
Right. He watched TV tapes of games and coached along, and what would I do in this situation? And again, this comes down to many factors. You're down 17 points, but the New Orleans offense is a big one too, that they're not having success slowing it down. They're going to try to play man-to-man against these wide receivers in this situation.
Here's Ryan down the middle of the field, reaching out, making the catch. Was he ever touched? Tammy gets to his feet, and they rule him down at the 26. What a catch by Jacob Tammy for 22. And the Falcons hurry to the line.
Beautiful throw. What a catch by Tammy. Just watching as it going down. It's against Brandon Browner, who you see all the time go inside on 3rd down situations and play the tight ends.
Beautiful catch.
Yeah, beautiful catch. Matt Ryan, I'm sure, before the ball was snapped, knew he was going to throw it to Tammy.
Here he's going to Jones, who has his 2nd catch of the half, both of them for just 4 or 5 yards.
You know, we got to sit here and give a little credit to the Saints defense here in the 2nd half, Jim.
No
what
question.
they've done. They've changed some of the things they're doing, trying to play a little more man coverage. They stopped the bootlegs by Matt Ryan.
2nd and 6. It goes Freeman inside the 20 to 10, and Freeman's in for yet another touchdown. His 9th of the year.
Not too many times can you say the football team, they get behind, they can make the comeback by running the football, but they can do it.
Gives him a 100-yard game right on the money.
Good double team. Boy, what a job by Andy Levitri, the left guard. Got a double team, got off of it, made the block, and that's what's in. 167, double team, gets off. Cut back by Freeman.
Look at Hankerson down here boxing out.
Boy.
So that 4th down catch by Tammy, just huge, keeping the Falcons in the game. And the extra point by Matt Bryant is good. Tonight was Freeman's 4th career start. He has 8 touchdowns in those 4 starts. Freeman just scores the touchdown from 25 yards out and now is getting stretched on the Falcons sideline.
Don't forget, he had a hamstring during preseason.
Yeah, he missed all of really the preseason action.
Yes.
He'd come to camp just so eager to play. As Coach Quinn said, 100% went for it the entire offseason. And that's why he's been playing the way we've watched the last month, the way he's produced. But you can feel it. The Falcons, they have all these experiences to play off of. Coming from behind to beat the Eagles. 10 down in the 4th to beat the Giants. Trailing by 3 against the Cowboys entering the 4th. Last week down 16-12 to Washington. Eventually winning in overtime.
Well, when you look at this, if they want to make this comeback here tonight, they've stopped the run game, but they got to stop the inside passing game of New Orleans. The linebackers, the safeties have to get tighter in their coverage.
First and 10 run, the best of the night by Ingram. And it's going to be good for a first. Surrounded by about half the Falcons defense. Next Thursday, your weekend starts here. Seattle will be coming down to see San Francisco. The Niners and the Seahawks showdown. It always is when these two tangle. That's next Thursday night on CBS and NFL Network. Seahawks expected to have Marshawn Lynch back this weekend. Coming off a hamstring when they host Carolina. San Francisco will be playing host to the Ravens Sunday. Good fake by Breeze, and boy, he is just continuing to find Benjamin Watson. Another 14 on that one.
Well, it's the fake. Watson coming across, and the throw on the run. Drew Brees keeps the hands on the football, turns. That shoulder turns, perfect spiral. You know, people think, oh, he's a small quarterback. Let me tell you something. All right, he might be 6'1", big shoulders, very long arms, big hands, athletic, stands tall in the pocket. All those things is the reason why he makes it work so well.
10 catches tonight for Watson, which matches the most that Jimmy Graham ever had in a game here. Just saying. He's got it all coming together in one night. As Ingram picks up 3.
Just saying. Yeah,
just saying. I'm not, you know, because people will go, hey, you're trying to say he's better than Jimmy Graham. You know, people get so fired up today. You make a comment, and you know, you're just trying to give us some context.
I think tonight, as you're watching something, but this is the way they're controlling the tempo of the game again here in the second half. The defense has tightened up on the Atlanta wide receivers, and just the play calling. This is the old Saints offense we saw years ago.
Set up a screen for Snead. And written down by Tyson Jackson along with Brooks Reed.
I mean, the numbers. The big passes down the field haven't been there, so when you throw it short, you got to be very efficient at it. And Drew Brees right now, 28 of 36.
Got Spiller back in the lineup. Facing a 3rd and 3. Long, and it's pulled in by Cooks over the top to the 21. First time tonight they've been able to get Cooks on anything bigger than a little short 3 or 4 yard gain.
The motion by the running back allows Cooks to go across the field. Ben Watson draws coverage, nobody on the far side, and Cooks, this is what you do with him, Jim. You go down the field, you let him run across the field to use the great speed.
Boy, was Drew high on this kid when we talked to him on Tuesday. And Breeze goes over 300 on the night passing with that completion. William Moore was injured on that last play. And while they address that, we'll remind you that this Sunday is a doubleheader day on CBS. Early, undefeated Denver comes into Cleveland. Boy, the Browns offense has been cranking. Denver, Cleveland for many of you, plus other regional action. And then the national doubleheader game to the great majority of the country. San Diego at Lambeau Field taking on the Packers. It all starts with our NFL Today buddies at noon Eastern time here on the home of Super Bowl 50.
That was really the formation. 3 guys close together. Let Brandon Cooks get across the field and get open. Both quarterbacks just putting up, like, you know, I don't want to say like they always do. That makes it sound too easy. Great numbers here tonight by both QBs.
Ishmael has come in for more at strong safety. First down, and he just flips it to avoid the sack, and Ingram's fighting off tackles, and then finally backed up after a gain of 8.
Boy, it was an unbelievable play by Drew Brees.
Oh, look at his neck. Get bent awkwardly.
Boy, that just shows you where he looks down the field, he always knows where the outlet receiver is.
It's Ingram. And he's about a yard short of the first.
You know, I thought they might call a penalty on Ingram because once he got tackled, he got up and he threw the football.
Yeah, he was trying to do the old spin move.
I guess so.
Football got away from him a little bit, but he heads to the sideline now for this important snap with inside of 9 minutes remaining. 3 tight ends. Toss to Robinson. They clear it. Robinson. And that's going to be a face mask call on top of it. Robinson tackled at the 6. They'll end up spotting it at the 3. Bierman.
Personal foul. Face mask. Grasping the back of the helmet. Number 71 defense. Half the distance to the goal automatic. First down.
So many plays. The 3 blockers up on this side. The pitch outside. Zach Streif, the right tackle, gets an excellent block. Bierman does get the face mask, so that's a good call. Moreeeee also, I had to say his name once tonight. So there we go. He had a good block out there too.
First and goal at the 3. Breeze still has it. Goes to the end zone, and it's knocked down. Dangerous pass. That was Ricardo Allen breaking it up, intended for Josh Hill.
Probably the first bad decision I've seen him make with the football here tonight. That was risky. That could have been intercepted and given this Atlanta football team a chance to make the comeback. Cuts in front. He gets both hands on the football. And Josh Hill, good job by fighting through there a little bit to knock the football down.
William Moore is back in at safety for the Falcons after sitting for only a play. We talked to him yesterday, and he had quite a bit to say about how Breeze is one of the very best at pump faking you'll ever see in the game. Seen that a few times tonight ourselves. Timeout New Orleans.
I think he has seen Drew Brees outside the pocket quite a few times tonight. Boy, look at this half. It is domination by the New Orleans Saints. Go back to the start. I was listening to the pregame, and Bill Cowher said he saw the desperation in the players warming up. And they're playing like a desperate team. Of course, they're at home. The crowd's helping them. And the biggest thing of all, yes, Drew Brees, a good night. They're doing all, but the play of the defense in the second half.
Well, how desperate are they? Just consider if they were to lose this game, they would be 1-5. Atlanta would be 6-0. You'd be 5 games behind them, plus having already lost head-to-head. Basically, you could forget it.
The season's over. That's right. That's what it was. And
second and goal. And Ingram, who scored from a yard out in the first quarter, another flag thrown in, is able to carry it to the 1. And it's going to be against the Falcons.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face defense. Number 25. Half the distance to the goal automatic. First down.
William Moore, 25 against Hill. Gets both hands on the face mask, it looks like. But what a night of mistakes by the Atlanta Falcons.
And meanwhile, the Saints, only 2 penalties, 1 sack allowed, and no giveaways. First and goal. It's Ingram. And it's Ingram trying to get in sideways, and he does for the touchdown. Ran behind his fullback, Austin Johnson. And the Saints answer right back after the Falcons had scored a touchdown to trim it to 10.
You're right, the fullback, and guess who? Ben Watson, number 82, good block on the edge. This is a team that last week that just got overpowered by the Philadelphia Eagles defense. Couldn't protect Drew Brees. Then they lose their left tackle the first series of the night. Great job of overcoming.
As you say that, extra point is good. You got to think about Tony Hills. He's coming here and done a good job protecting that left side. Ingram, hard fought a couple of times on that drive, and he gets the payoff. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Corona, who invites you to find your beach. McDonald's now serving all-day breakfast. And by the Lexus IS200 Turbo and IS300 all-wheel drive. The New Orleans Pharmacy Museum. There actually is one. Right in the heart of the French Quarter, by the way.
There you go. Well, it looks beautiful. Just tell you, it's... How about last year about this time? I remember we did a game in Atlanta. Atlanta beat Tampa Bay 56-0. We said that's over. What did Tampa Bay do the next week? They came back and won.
That's right.
So this league.
Fans have something to celebrate tonight here in New Orleans with 8 minutes to go. And the home team is up 31-14. A couple of weeks away from Halloween, but we've already got a few lookalikes here. Come on, guys, turn around. Let me see you, coach. I'm not sure if that's Dennis Allen, the special defensive assistant, who's here, or we know that's Rob Ryan.
I know one thing, the guy that's imitating Rob Ryan's got some party ball.
Long ball time. What coverage, too, by Delvin Breaux. Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, Jim, Saints linebacker Donnell Ellerby, who was just having a huge night, is in the locker room now with a groin injury. When the athletic trainers told him, he got so frustrated, threw a bench over, but now he's in the locker room. His return is questionable.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he has, Tracy, a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. Big part of this renaissance tonight. The Saints defense coming back to life. Humbar is in for him. And the Saints, Cameron Jordan takes down Ryan.
Couple big plays tonight by Cameron Jordan, but said it early in the game, this is a little bit of a weakness when you talk about, oh, he just overpowers Chris Chester to get to the quarterback. A weakness of this Atlanta offense, obvious passing situations like this. They can't get overpowered, and that's what happened that time.
It's a loss of 7. Second sack of the night by New Orleans. Ryan in trouble again. Ball is out and fallen on. The recovery by Matthews. Kikaha was the one who strip sacked Ryan on that play.
Number 44 on the outside just keeps working and finally bends around and gets around Matthews to get the sack and the fumble. Kikaha, high draft pick. They've asked him to do a lot. Played linebacker, defensive end last week against the Philadelphia Eagles, and an edge rusher on third down plays.
So they're going to punt here with 6.5 to go. They've already blocked one and returned it for a touchdown. That coming in the first quarter. Usher has this one off the side of the foot, bounces at the 42. One hop picked up Murphy out at the 42. And the Saints want a flag on the back end of that, but are not granted one. Twice they got to Ryan on that series. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by the Lexus IS200 Turbo and IS300 all-wheel drive, and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Looking down Canal Street, and meanwhile off Poydras here at the Superdome, the Saints riding high and running it with Robinson. Picks up 11. We have Nate Stupar, linebacker for the Falcons, mic'd up.
Hey, keep it together now. We're all together. Hey, we've been down more than this. Let's go. Take it as a challenge. Let's go. Compete. We've been here before. Tighten up. Tighten up, baby.
Now they're running out of time here for another one of those fourth quarter comebacks tonight. 5:40 and the clock running. And another first down for the Saints. Nice tackle there by Bierman. Got to Robinson right at the line.
Atlanta still has 3 timeouts.
How about this crazy NFL? Just a few days removed from, well, the Saints just got pummeled up in Philadelphia. And you're thinking, where's this team going? Everybody's talking about the defense can't stop anybody. What are they doing with Rob Ryan? Where is Sean Payton going to be next year? Atlanta comes in here on such a run. Second and 10 to Ingram.
Maybe tomorrow's story would be this, Jim. Well, why haven't they been doing this all year? You know, so, hey, look, it's a competitive league. What was one of the first things that Drew Brees said to us when we talked to him? Here's what it was. Hey, look, they're 5-0 and we're 1-4, but we could easily be 4-1 and they could be 1-4. Or what, you know,
exactly.
And I just went, I understand. You know, there's not a huge difference in these teams.
And Sean Payton said, he was asked this week because he's been tied to possibly down the road, you know, at the end of the season, the Miami job and various other subjects, the subject of various other sites. Timeout called by Brees. Payton, Sean said, you know, one of these days you guys are going to get it right. I'm going to either leave, I'm going to quit, or I'm going to get fired. But I got to tell you, I love it here, and I plan on being here. Saints coming out of their final timeout faced a 3rd and 10 with 4 minutes remaining, up 17. And Ingram is chopped at the 30. Timeout called this time by Atlanta. And just a reminder, coming up next, it's the Mazda post-game show, interviews and analysis of tonight's game. They're going to bring out Hocker for what will be about a 48-yard field goal attempt. .48 yards for Hocker, 1 of 2 tonight. Ooh, that wasn't pretty right off the toe. 1 of 3 for the evening. And what have you seen here tonight by the Falcons, who had so much momentum coming into this game? That first half, they had a lot of mistakes that they've never recovered from.
Well, they're going to go back, and look, you got to give the Saints a lot of credit. I love the way they played with the intensity, what they did with on the defense in the second half. But the Falcons are going to look at it this way: the mistakes, it was all there. The plays to be made, the block, getting a punt blocked, the opportunities, the penalties, driving to score, the fumble by Coleman.
Yeah, one after another in the first half.
You know, it's kind of upsetting. I just saw ourselves on camera. I wore a white shirt. I thought it was supposed to make you look trimmer. Is that right?
No, we're pretty trim to me.
Oh, okay. Little hurry up here.
Couple of nights here in New Orleans. That can change, though, with all the culinary delights here. 2nd and 2. Freeman.
You know, a situation like this, my first thought is, all right, make sure Matt Ryan, you go out there and you tell him, don't take unnecessary hits. You're down 17, tough to make this comeback, but don't let your franchise quarterback take too much punishment.
Another quick dump off to Freeman for 6. Freeman 128 yards, scrimmage yards tonight. 100 rushing, 28 more off of 5 receptions. Hankerson, boy, he's had a couple of moments he'd like to have back.
Fumble on 4th down.
You know, speaking of like to have these moments back, Maudie, boy, that just absolutely stirred this place to a level they haven't experienced in a long time around here.
Boy, you forget some of these, some really bad penalties. But when you give up a touchdown in special teams, the statistics say you're most likely going to lose the game.
Here's 3rd and 4. And another drop.
Yeah, I mean, all night. It's not even the drops. They've had a couple where they ended up catching them, Jim, where they ruined the catch and run. Just not grabbing the football cleanly, and Freeman that time definitely turned his head too quick.
So, of course, they'll go for it here. 4th down at the New Orleans 40. This time, same pass play, and he makes the grab for the 1st. By the way, looking at the Falcons' schedule the rest of the way, they play only 2 teams that currently have winning records. That would be Indianapolis and Carolina twice. That's it. Their schedule, degree of difficulty, is the lowest in the league for the remaining schedule. First down. Ryan. Saints all over him. Again, it's Cameron Jordan.
Well, what a night for Cameron Jordan. This time, protection's pretty good, but the step up allows Jordan to get away from Chris Chester to get the sacks. That's a tough break for the right guard.
2nd and 14. Freeman advances it to about the 28. They haven't been able to get anything in the second half with Julio down the field.
That I said that a couple of times. Yeah, Julio Jones not getting him down the field one-on-one. The coverage has been better.
The ball comes out, ruled incomplete. That was Tammy having it knocked loose by Vaccaro and Anthony, and we've got the 2-minute warning. Coming up after the game, the Mazda post-game show. Interviews and analysis of tonight's game. And congratulations to the New York Mets. They win Game 5, advance to the National League Championship Series. Mets-Cubs.
Yep, pretty exciting series coming there, but this game, talked about a lot of things, but when you think about this, we talked about it early, Jim, and we were talking about the game. We knew Drew Brees, yeah, he always plays well, but tonight, gutty, tough, the leadership came out. Well, the Saints, they're about Drew Brees and their head coach, Sean Payton, and they both came through tonight.
4th down snap coming up. And the Falcons will keep on advancing down the field. Julio Jones, just his 3rd catch of the half for a total of 25 in the half. 6 for 93 for the night. Looking his way, it's not there. So he goes back to the near side. Freeman. It's a touchdown. Well, I tell you, this kid, I thought maybe he had stepped out of bounds, but it's good for 2 a game.
Nope,
not even close.
Nope, and it just.
By the way, we're going to have an onside kick, of course, attempted, and there has not been a successful onside kick the entire season in the league.
I'm just still trying to figure out Devontae Freeman, why he was so wide open. I'm looking at the defense, and I know the game, you got a big lead.
Devontae Freeman's become a fantasy football superstar here in the last month. 2 touchdowns on the night, giving him a total of 10 on the season.
You look at the Falcons, we've talked about the mistakes and all that, but you think of their Devontae Freeman, Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, such. I mean, it's the big 3 for this team right now.
Matt Bosher will be kicking off. He did have 3 successful onside kicks back in 2013, but the whole league, it's 0 for 18. It's a little surprising.
Well, sure it is. You expect one to just take a funny hop or something to happen where you could get lucky, but they all work on it so much, and they've learned over the years to the front line, be the blockers, let the guy behind make the catch.
And also, you can't load up one side anymore for the kickoff team.
That's
Let's
right.
not forget that makes a huge difference. Make it 0 for 19. Willie Snead falls on it. And the Saints now just a few kneel downs away from officially saving their season tonight. Next up for New Orleans at Indianapolis. They got the Giants here. Eli comes back to his hometown over Halloween weekend. Look at that. They play at Indy, home against the Giants and Tennessee. Going to come out of here tonight at 2-4.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and predict till I know what's going to happen. I mean, it's tough. You know, you say, oh, you look at the schedule. Oh, they're going to win here and here and.
See the Falcons stopping it here. Get 2 timeouts. And a quick one called. You know, the onside kick, as rare as they are, successfully pulled off. The Saints had one of the most famous ones ever to start in the second half in the Super Bowl. Thomas Morstead kicked it off, and it was recovered by New Orleans. Of course, Tracy Porter with the interception return, and the Saints went on to win that one 31-17.
You remember that production meeting? We go in there, Sean Payton, and he immediately says, you gotta be daring to win these big games. He learned that, of course. And, you know, it didn't surprise me. I was just mad he told us, because now we can't go and say, hey, look for all the stuff they're going to do and all that. Once he told us, he had us. But Bill Parcells was a gambler too. People think of Bill Parcells, who Sean Payton has learned so much from, like, oh, he liked 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Man, I think back to when I played for him. We went for it on 4th down. We had fake plays, fake punts. We tried everything. And the good thing is most of them worked. Just like Sean Payton's onside kick in that Super Bowl turned that game around.
Well, Sean considers him to be his mentor. Parcells mentoring Payton, who was on his staff. All right, they can't stop it again, the Falcons.
Well, just great job by Drew Brees tonight. I talked about it a few minutes ago, but his numbers, 30 of 39, just the way he played, and I'm sure just the way he led the team this week in practice, in preparation.
I think the shoulder's okay. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Thought he threw the ball well last week, and he even looked better tonight.
Fourth down.
So the Falcons drop a game for the first time this year, and the Saints at 2-4, having already now played all the divisional opponents once. Carolina has a trip out to Seattle this weekend.
Oh, but that's
coming off a bye.
An interesting game. The Carolina Panthers, we saw it last year. At the end of the year, Cam Newton, Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator, everything came together, and they've kind of continued it with this start so far this year.
Fields gets it away, and it goes out of bounds.
But something the Saints will be just one little more thought that they did miss some field goals tonight, and that's in a league where 3 points is gold. That'll be a major concern and talked about in the next few days as they look over this game.
You saw the Saints coaching staff on the sideline. There'd been a lot of talk about, hey, what's going on with Rob Ryan and Sean Payton? But I know this. Rob Ryan said, hey, you guys keep blaming me, okay? Fielding questions, because I know we're on the brink of breaking through.
Jim, excuse me.
They take the ball right out of the hands of Ryan. It was Jordan, who's had just a huge game, who falls on it as well. And that'll just bring us one snap to the end.
Yeah, just another good play by the defense. And just what you said, Rob Ryan, I talked to him yesterday, and I couldn't get negative about his players. And I know he really believed it, that we're close, we're young, we can't do a lot because we have so many young players.
Well, I tell you, one of the guys has really led that defense for Coach Ryan. Cameron Jordan with his 3rd sack, forcing the fumble, recovering it. The son of the 6-time Pro Bowl tight end for the Minnesota Vikings of years ago, Steve Jordan. And the Saints did what they had to do. They had to come out here and treat it like everything they'd worked for a whole year was on the line here tonight.